It's me, Ari Does It. In this video, I want to keep it short as possible. I'm addressing a fairy tale many of you endorse. Yes, if this does not apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. But I dare to say that most people that click on this video were triggered by the title because they expected the sentence to be a bit different. Now, what is a fairy tale I'm addressing? Remember, a fairy tale is an expectation that's not rooted in reality, yet it's an expectation that, despite not being rooted in reality, people persist upon. That's a fairy tale. Now, the fairy tale I'm addressing is the idea that what others think about you doesn't matter. People say what others think about you is none of your business. Or they say, stop caring what others think about you. There are people that say, if you care what others think about you, that's a prison you're in. Well, hold on. The last time I checked, we as human beings, we have multiple bodies. We're vulnerable and fragile creatures that need one another to function. We're social, vulnerable, and fragile creatures. So none of us can achieve everything we want or fulfill all our needs by ourselves. That's not possible. Nobody can. So, based on that alone, there is a need to be in harmony with other people. Now, there are people you can't be in harmony with because they're dangerous, they're narcissistic, psychopathic, or whatever. However, in general, you ought to get along with other people. If you don't get along at peace with other people, they will develop mental illness and psychological disorders in you. Human beings need to connect and bond with other human beings. Without that, you lose your mind. You lose it. So, that alone throws out of the window the idea that what others think about you is irrelevant. If you apply for a job, do you go there in your swimwear? Do you go there like you're going to a party? No, you don't. Unless you're applying at a beach club, whatever. But why not? Because you know, if you don't give a positive impression to the recruiter, you likely will not get the job. Simple as that. If you go out to a party, now say when women go out to parties, do they go there in their pajamas? Unless it's a pajama party, of course. But in general, do they go there in their pajamas? Or do they go there like they're going to church? No. They go there in party dresses. Short skirts, short dresses, high heels, a lot of makeup on, because they know that's the way they'll get sexual attention at the party. And you know, that's what people like to see. Because if they go there and they don't not dress for the occasion, it will harm their reputation. They will stand out, but they'll stand out the wrong way. Look, what others think about you does affect you. As simple as that. There's no way around it. So you should prioritize how others perceive you. Because how others esteem you determines how they will treat you. So, let's say that your mom or dad is out of their mind because they're a narcissist. And everyone knows how messed up your parents are. And even as a grown man and a grown woman, your parents tend to act out against you. Now, if you address openly how fucked up your parents are, it can be some people will see you as the bad guy or the bad woman. You know why? Because a lot of folks were raised with the idea that, well, no matter how ugly or stupid your parents are, they're still your parents. And this is part, though, to religion, but also because society wants to avoid sensitive topics that reveal how fallen and how dysfunctional mankind is without Christ. So, you addressing this in the open will make you look bad. Now, are you bad for addressing it? No. But when you look bad onto others, they'll begin to avoid you. They'll see you as a troublemaker. And the way they see you is not correct because you're not a troublemaker. You're just addressing what needs to be addressed. But by you addressing what needs to be addressed, you are waking sleeping dogs, as they would say. You are triggering people to look at issues they want to avoid. And when people are forced to face issues they don't want to face, they get irritated, they get annoyed, they get uncomfortable, and this hurt will haunt them and they'll begin to act out on someone else. So in the long run, what you did triggered narcissistic abuse, or it triggered discomfort, or it triggered domestic violence. So they'll see you as the individual bring bad news, as an individual that ruins the atmosphere. Now, so you made a decision, what I'm not going to address openly this issue, whether it's abuse by parents or whether it's societal neglect, whatever. I will hint towards it, but if people don't want to hear it, I'll leave them in the fairy tale. Look, the way others esteem you, you know what I'm saying? If they don't esteem you highly, or they don't have a positive esteem of you, then anytime they see you doing well in life, they're going to feel hurt. Why? Because if they have a low esteem of you, and you keep having good things happen to you in life, they have to face themselves and like, shit, why are we thinking so low, this individual? Where does it come from? Then they need to face themselves, admit their error. But once they admit their error, they also have to admit they're unreliable and untrustworthy, and they're not trustworthy. Why? Because if they esteem you low, just based on their own expectations, without checking their expectations, that means they're not safe to be around, because anyone that doesn't match your expectations, they dislike, they hate, and they act out against. So the moment they're forced to admit we were wrong about you, it will destroy their social bonds, their social ties. It's going to be a lot of social unrest, social distrust, social anxiety. They don't want all of that. So once they esteem you low, they will keep looking for something bad on you to smear on you. Some individuals will admit, sorry, I was wrong. Most people will not. That's why you're taught since growing up, whether your parents did it or you learned at school, to always give a good first impression. Why? Because most people don't want to investigate, they don't want to examine things. They just want things to be served on them on a silver platter. Most people only care about their own comfort and relief. So if you match their comfort, they treat you well. If you don't match your comfort, they begin to avoid you, or if they're offended, they begin to attack you, directly or indirectly. So by giving a good first impression, which actually you manipulate people to receive you, you cannot use that later against them when they turn on you. Because when people first embrace you, then turn on you, they need to explain why. After they won't turn on you openly, they'll just slowly fade away from you or lower contact with you. So you were taught to manipulate people to be treated better. But at the same time, people tell you, don't be manipulative. Being manipulative is something narcissists do. Yet you were taught to be manipulative by giving a good first impression. Don't you see this contradicts one another? Look, the whole fairy tale of not caring what others think about you is a dangerous one. And look at this. Those people, those public figures, whether they are politicians or self-help gurus, whatever, that teach you this crap, do they apply it to the full? No, they don't. Do they dare to talk like that to the police officer or to the judge? Do they dare to talk like that towards the employer or towards the people that buy the products? No. Now, some public figures have a persona of being agitating, rude, and all of that, but that's a persona they enact because that's what people want to see. Because a lot of people want to escalate in daily life, but they can't do it because they can't afford it. Because they'll be fired from their jobs, they can't pay rent anymore, and they'll go homeless, or their marriage will end, or others will come after them. So a lot of people can't afford to just offload how upset they are. So when they see a public figure doing it, they tend to like it. So they tend to support that individual because the individual's acting out what they actually want to do, but they don't dare to do. But even those actors know very well, it's just an act I'm doing. I can't seriously be like this. Look, if you believe this fairy tale, if you invest in this fairy tale, that what others think about you is none of your business, that what others think about you doesn't concern you, I'm telling you, you're delusional. You are not in your right mind. To make matters worse, you're not even safe to be around. Because you're the type of individual that will trigger conflict or trigger unrest. And when unrest happens, you don't even realize that you're part of what goes on. You'll just deny it when people point it out. You'll play the victim and you'll leave and others have to deal with the consequences. You're the type of individual that will trigger enmity towards you And then you begin to complain to the Heavenly Father, oh Lord, there's so many enemies coming against me. You may even think, oh, they're persecuting me because of my faith in Christ. No, no, no. They're not persecuting you for any faith. They're fed up with how insensitive and how disregarding you are towards them. So now they're acting out. Do I approve of them acting out against you like that? No, I do not. However, you are part of what goes on. So if you hold on to this fairy tale, what others think about you is none of your business. If you believe that, check yourself. Okay, what others think about you should not be your primary concern. That's true. Especially if they're people who just want to narcissistically exploit you or take advantage of you. In that case, what they think about you should be considered, but of a low priority. It is a priority because such people, when they can't have their way with you, they'll conduct smear campaigns, they'll lie about you, they'll set you up, whatever. So even then, you do concern it. You're concerned about it, but it's of low priority. But anyway, what others think about you matters. Shouldn't be your primary concern, but it is a concern. Be realistic, agree with Christ, and stop holding on to those fairy tales the world is telling you. Be at peace.